Welcome to this Skill Builder session on writing your conclusion.
This presentation is aimed at undergraduate students. Many students report that they find writing conclusions difficult, so this short presentation is aimed at giving you some ideas to make your conclusions stronger. When you are writing essays, try to remember that for the reader the conclusion is one of the most important parts of an essay, because it is where you bring everything together and where your academic voice can come through most strongly. By the end of this tutorial you will firstly understand the point of conclusions, second be able to generate questions which help you to structure a good conclusion, and third you will be able to recognise the key elements which make a good conclusion. An academic essay should consist of three distinct sections. The introduction that sets the scene for the reader and explains the focus, scope and aims of your essay. The body, made up of a series of paragraphs containing all of your hard work, references, analysis and argument, and which constitutes the bulk of your word count. And the conclusion, that should pull together the main strands of the body and offer a final definitive statement on the topic under discussion. In order to write a good conclusion, you will need to address 5 key functions. Firstly, the preparation. Secondly, gathering together the information. Thirdly, ensuring that you answer the question. Fourth, ensuring that you have nothing new in your conclusion. And finally, making the ending of your conclusion as good as it can be. Typically, the conclusion will be between 5 and 10% of the total word count, and in essays up to 3,000 words, it will be contained within a single paragraph. In a dissertation or a longer extended essay, the conclusion might be broken down into a number of paragraphs. So first, preparing for the conclusion. As you come to the end of an essay, you can prepare for writing the conclusion by asking yourself a set of questions. For example, this might include: what came up in the literature again and again? Was there anything in the literature which surprised you? What aspect of this essay has led you to ask new questions about the topic? And finally, and probably the most important question, what have you learnt from the process of writing this essay? The second thing to do when you're writing a conclusion is to gather all of the points that you've made within the essay. So bring together the points that you've made in your essay and then identify the most important point, or where the balance of evidence falls. Third, answer the question. The conclusion needs to deliver a clear answer to the question that was set, so it is important that you make sure you have answered the question based on the evidence you have provided within the essay. You can also highlight this to your reader by using words from the essay question within your conclusion. Fourth, make sure there is nothing new in the conclusion. Sometimes you may have a new idea, or you may read new evidence just before you finish your essay. Although you may really want to include it, don't be tempted just to squash it into the conclusion. If new material is really important, it will need to be included within the main essay as a distinct paragraph. And fifth, the ending. As with most things in life, the endings of essays are very important. There are a number of ways that you can end your conclusion. For example, you can say what has been learnt as a result of writing the essay. You can indicate what still needs further research or which questions are still unresolved. And finally, you can identify the most important point you have made and add a comment to this. This slide shows you an example of a conclusion, and it includes a link back to the question, a summary of the main points that were made within the essay, a concluding statement or synthesis, and a section of what's next. Please pause the slides here and read it at your own pace. Thank you for listening to this presentation. You should now understand the point of conclusions, be able to generate questions which help you to structure a conclusion, and recognise the key elements which make a good conclusion. If there is anything that you do not understand or you would like more support with writing conclusions, please book an appointment or contact us at learning@kent.ac.uk.